Thank you for tuning in to Mind Your Business, M.Y.B Talk Radio, the business radio talk show that talks all about business. I'm your host, Miss Robin Annette. Today's topic phrase is True Business People, True People of Business, Volume 1. This will kick off my two-part series. Today we're talking to the women, the true ladies of business. Next Monday will be the true men of business. So we're going to kick that off today, and what needs to be done, what's not being done, the good, the bad, the ugly, and then we'll swing into a little bit of etiquette. I think we need to touch on that a little bit, and of course close with the dotted line. So call in, guys, 1-877-7. I always want to start with some news for you. According to CNN.com, topnewstoday.org, Saudi Arabia is planning on recruiting women for the first time in the latest sign of tentative social reform. This was reported 2 days ago. The full article was found on M.Y.B Times, and it stated that although women are still obligated to play the secondary role to the men and their families over there in Saudi, but the announcement of recruiting women for people over in Saudi Arabia is one in just several new initiatives that are increasing women's rights, including, get this, including the right to vote, run for public office. The law, according to IBTimes.com, should be fully implemented in Saudi Arabia by 2015. Things are changing in the Saudi Arabia with the Equal Rights Amendment. And even with the ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment was originally written in 1923 by Alice Paul. And the banning of workplace discrimination against race, religion, national origin, and of course on the basis of sex, and that didn't pass until 1964 with the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Equal Pay in 1966. And ladies, let's just not think about Alice Paul. We have Coretta Scott King, and if it wasn't for those two, we wouldn't have any rights at all today. They really put their efforts forward, so that is to be commended. In these times, we had so many rights taken away from us. There were laws against what we did, what we tried to do. We were laughed at, smirked at, and doggone near patted on our heads. So let's take a note from those pages. So call in, guys, 1-877-704-1010 or 410-481-1010, or listen live on WOLB's Baltimore.com. I want to know, guys, I want to hear from you. What is your opinion on, what do you think of women laws, and what are the rights, and what are things that you've come in contact with on your jobs and business? Some of the etiquette, as I said, I would talk about. What are some of the things that you've seen? Are there problems that you notice? Are there things and etiquette that you haven't seen that have not been followed? So I want to go into some of that. So if you could give us a call. And just so you all know, this program is brought to you by EPH Designs, LLC, a multidisciplined CAD design and drafting company that also provides professional project management. Okay, guys, so ladies of business, I also would like to say, I always tell people, give me the bad news first. So we're going to run down a few bad habits and things that need to be corrected in today's business world for the ladies. According to heartcorewoman.com, first one they give is, which is so big, don't gossip. Stop all that gossip, guys. This is a professional world we're dealing with here. If you're trying to run your business, give yourself a chance by not running your mouth and making your self-image. That also has something, even if you're talking about someone else, it doesn't matter. People look at you. People look at those kind of things. So it says don't gossip. Keep that away from your business environment and tired of that kind of thing. Before we go any further, we want to go to Mr. Johnson, who was online. I appreciate your call. Can you hear me? Hi, Mr. Johnson. How are you doing today? Thank you for calling in. Okay. Oh, it's so silly. It's so silly. And Mr. Johnson, I totally agree, and I appreciate your comment. If you could call in next Monday, that'd be great. I appreciate you, and we'll move on. And trust me, we're going to touch on all those little subjects, okay? Yes, you have an excellent day. Call in next Monday. We can talk to the men next Monday, okay? Thank you. All right, Mr. Johnson, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And that's the truth. We have to carry ourselves a little better nowadays. This is something that and I'm going to touch on that in the dotted line, the final word. We're not only representing our, the image outside of our business and our business, but ourselves. So we have to take account of that and know that, yes, it does matter. I don't care how many times you say, oh, I don't care what anyone else thinks about me. It doesn't matter. We're in a business world here. This is not personal stuff. This is professional. And when you're out there and you're talking about people, and it sounds common, but we've been doing this since grade school. We're not in grade school anymore. It's time to grow up. It's time to get up, especially if we want to look so strong in our own right, especially for the women. And, just mind your business. That's really what the name of my show is, Mind Your Business. So heartcorewomen.com also say, clean the clutter. Now, I can sometimes look around, and I'm sure some of you are looking around right now in your office and looking at the clutter in your office. Clean it up, guys. It's time to clean it up. Ladies, you've got to be more attentive, more detail-oriented. Make sure you clean and reorganize and restructure the things around you because it represents yourself. My mother used to tell me that all the time. It represents yourself. The dirtiness of your office, your room, wherever your car. You have to really put those things in line because that will adhere to the rest of what you're doing in your business world. So, womeninbiz.sb sources, I guess that's smallbusinesssources.com, says that if you are working from home, another thing is don't get caught up in house stuff. In other words, if you're working from your home, you have the luxury of owning your own business and you're working from your house, don't make an excuse of, oh, I have to do this, or maybe I can make this phone call. That's fine. Chores, I can understand. Kids, okay, that's unavoidable. But the extra long internet searches, such as, it's not just a huge newsflash, guys. As my poem says. I write poetry from time to time. I have a whole book called My Chocolate Heaven, and it deals with different subjects. And one of my quotes is this: a smile will never go a long way without a resume. So think about that. Calling, guys, 1-877-704. Okay, guys, we're going to squeeze in a few more bad habits, and then we're going to run into a few other things here. One big one here from womeninbiz.sbresources.com says, don't spend too much time also on the phone calls. Our little phone calls that we make here and there, if you add up all those phone calls that have nothing to do with what you're doing in front of your lap or in front of your computer, can add up over time, and that takes time and focus away from your business efforts and things you have to do. Or 410-481-1010, or listen live on WOLBsbaltimore.com. I'm very passionate about this because I'm a woman of business and I'm a CEO, and it really disgusts me, to tell you the truth, when I see women who can be so much better than what they are in their physical appearance, in their mentality. They're pessimistic, they're negative. It just shows and rubs off. And if you hang around people like that long enough, it's going to rub off on you too. And one thing I said on Facebook, or yesterday actually, I posted something that really meant something to me, which is keep your positivity as much as possible in your business, as much as you can. It might not be so much that positive people, or you surround yourself with positive people, but that positive people might surround themselves with you. You got to think about that. You got to kind of flip it a little bit. You got to be creative with, how you interpret your business and how you do those kind of things. So here's another one from yours truly. Overexposing your personal life. I mean, all of this kind of has to do with the same thing. Please don't ever believe that people in the business industry are truly interested in your personal life. But here's the other side of that, which is what I've come in contact with. Thankfully, I've been able to learn and share this information with you. And I know most of you all know that people are not polite really at all. People will tell you that they're not that interested, and you can almost assume and bank on this, that ladies in business have that problem. And regardless of how smart you are, your looks, or otherwise, I don't care how far you try to get, eventually your skills are going to have to come into play. And as I said, people will have no problem. Another thing you need to do is stop being so loud in conversations. A lot of times, and I know you've noticed this, a lot of times when people are trying to get the attention of other employers, or people are trying to get the attention of someone they like, whatever the case is, personally, professional, they try to be too loud. Have you ever gone down the street and you say, gosh, this woman is so loud? And she might be talking business, but she's still extremely loud. And men do it too. You got to be, real professional. It's time to use the quiet voice, the inside voice. Mom used to say it all the time. Inside voice, right? So this is basic 101, guys. I mean, you have to adapt. Not only that, but you also got to adapt to your customer. That's basic sales skills. When you have someone who's speaking soft, you speak soft. When someone is speaking strong, pick it up a little. Have you even spoken to or pulled aside someone and said, hey, look, you're doing very well in what you're doing. You're good at what you do, but you've got to hone in on some skills and you be a little more professional in the way you conduct this, because this is my name on this contract and your name also. So I really do think that you need to, change a few things. And that's a little embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Reevaluation of self. I want to bring up something very basic also, so far as shaking hands even. This is etiquette we're talking about here also. Shaking hands. I conducted an interview for a temp agency, and this one person came to me and I was interviewing her. First thing she did when I went to grab her hand, shake her hand, she gave me the most weak, horrible, nasty, finger-tipped handshake I have ever had in my life, and I can't stand that. Doesn't show any respect for yourself, doesn't show any respect for the other person, or the interaction that you all are having. Palm to palm. Okay, remember that. Palm to palm handshake, guys. Ladies, listen up, because we try to be so poised all the time and try to conduct ourselves in a certain way, but don't be so poised that you don't seem grounded. You have to know how to do that. Look someone in their eye. Give that handshake. And let me tell you something. That woman that I interviewed didn't have the skills to even match up to what the position she was applying for. So she really didn't, I'm sorry to say, didn't get the job. But I still was able to say, hey, you know what? I appreciate you coming in. Thank you for your resume. It was great. Ladies, pull up your pants. Do you know how many times I have seen inappropriate dress and attire for the business meetings that people have gone through? Just like on my first Generations video, I said the same thing. Pull up your pants. And this sounds silly, but you see it every day. Grown women who walk around with pants that are too tight, dresses that are too short. You see their bare bottom backside. That doesn't make any kind of sense at all. And it's inappropriate. At what age do you think that you should stop doing those kind of things? It doesn't make any sense. So make sure you get that. And let me tell you something. I know a lot of you all say, I don't care what anyone thinks about what I wear. It doesn't matter. Guess what? You're representing yourself too, not just your business. Get it together. It's time to step up. It's time to be a woman of business. It's time to be classy. Show some class. Show some type of respect for yourself, for your spirit, for your mind, what you're doing. It emanates in the business that you conduct. This is important stuff, guys. So anyway, once again, before I get out of here, I would like to say that this program is brought to you by Mothership Productions, and that's currently featuring A to B, your administrative to business services and products, EPH Designs, LLC, the multidisciplined CAD design drafting company, and of course, M.Y.B Talk Radio. Make sure you go to our website. Okay, guys, now that we come to the close of our show, I would like to go to the dotted line. What happens on the end of every single contract? We come to the dotted line. Women in business have come a long way. We've done an excellent job of showing our worth to this business world and ourselves. We've made great strides in different fields and industries, and even as business owners. Some have reported, and even statistically reported, that not only have we come to a rise, but that we have surpassed men in owning and operating business. However, on the flip side of that, some women in business fail to carry, handle, and present themselves and their businesses in a professional and proper way. Regardless of how you feel about caring about what others think, you need to reconsider and revisit that thought, because why? It does matter. Image does matter. Questions: are you pronunciating your words when you need to be sharp? Is your spirit and positivity as confident as it should be? Is your dress appearance in order when it needs to be? If not, take a page from successful women that are already out there in action if you want to become a true woman of business. Okay, guys, well, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you calling in. Please call in. Make sure you tune in for Volume 2 and every single Monday from 1:30 to 2 p.m. Before I go, I got to let you know there's no business like your own business. This is Miss Robin Annette signing off on Radio 1's WOLB 1010 AM in Baltimore.